It's a worship of melanin. And then see, here's the thing: you guys are literally making physical images of the Most High, which is an abomination. We know this. You guys are gonna say, well, our people need to know what he looked like. No, they don't. You guys are gonna say, well, our people need to know what he looked like. No, they don't. That's unnecessary. When Yah came down on Mount Sinai, he literally said that when he came down on Mount Sinai, he didn't take any form. He didn't take any similitude of any man. Because he knew that if he would have came in the form of a man or something like that, the nation of Yasharal will be quick to make an idol, to make an image, to make a drawing of Yah, which is an abomination. Because anytime you're looking at something, you say, oh, that's the Lord, you in sin.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Manatazak, back with another lesson, and today through the Spirit, I want to get into a lesson that's going to be a response to a particular Yah Israelite. Okay, I'm not sure which group he belongs to, but he's one of those Yah Israelites who believe that we in the various Hebrew Israelite camps who use depictions of the Heavenly Father and the only begotten Son are being taken onto idolatry. Okay, he's basically accusing us of graven image worship. Okay, so this is going to be a lesson that's going to be a defense for the images that we use when we're on the highways and hedges, or when we're even doing videos such as this, video epistles or slideshows, what have you, depicting the Heavenly Father, the only begotten Son, the angels. Okay, all throughout the history of the Israelites, we always use depictions. Okay, we were very prevalent in artwork and in sculpting. Okay, we are very talented and artistic people, and just because we use these different depictions does not mean that we are worshiping the images or the sculptures that we draw. Okay, there's a difference between creating artwork as a representation to basically show our people, okay, the stories that took place beforehand, and using those same images and bowing down and worshiping them as if they are the actual representation of the person or deity itself. Now, I know that was very lengthy and very wordy, but I'm trying to be very careful with the words that I use, because I don't want this to be a stumbling block, okay, to those that are listening in truth and sincerity, because they may take this and think that the images that we use are being used because we feel that this is what they actually look like. I mean, if you notice on a lot of these depictions, many of which come from the brother Manatazak Banyumyan from the Bay Area GMS camp, okay, the Spirit got on heavy to do a lot of slideshows and different images, you know, depicting such figures as, you know, the apostles of old, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai. And a lot of them are used as an artistic expression, not forms of worship, because a lot of those images are used of famous actors and what have you. Okay, we know, or if you're, I don't want to say if you're using common sense, because common sense isn't common, but you should extrapolate through the Spirit that when we use these images, okay, that we don't actually believe they look like the actors that are representing them. Okay, let's see, I want to get through the Spirit Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. Okay, when you go to Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, the headline reads an exhortation to obedience, and I'm going to begin at verse 5. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 4 verse 5, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and exhorting to the hopeful elect. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord Yahweh Shemashah my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Okay, so this is very important to remember, because we as Hebrew Israelites coming back into the knowledge of who we really are according to the scriptures, okay, turning back to the old past requires us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, okay? And it stands to reason that we would not be worshiping graven images, okay? A lot of us are coming out of the different denominations of religion, okay? Christianity, Catholicism, even Islam, okay? Where the images of quote-unquote white Jesus were very prevalent in our upbringing. So much so to the point that when you close your eyes and say the name Jesus, an image of a white person with blonde hair, blue eyes, you know, the mullet, the whole effeminate look is going to pop into your mind. That's how much of a stronghold that name and that image has been. So when we use the images that you see of Yahweh Shai and the Heavenly Father Yahweh, even the chariots, we're not saying those are direct representations of the actual people and the actual, you know, things that they're showing. What we're doing is using these images to break the strongholds that religion has had over our people, to show you, okay, that according to the scriptures and what the scriptures say, these images are more accurate, biblically accurate, okay? And that's all that it is. It's nothing to really put heavy thought into or to really dwell upon. But yet here we are, once again, breaking these things down and showing you the simplicity, okay, of the Israelites that don't have sound doctrine, that don't have that Rakak Wadash, that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay, if you're sitting here calling on the name Yah, that shows you that you don't have the 100% truth. Now, true indeed, Yah is a Paleo Hebrew word in the Lashon Kodash, but it just means He. That is not the name of the Heavenly Father or the only begotten Son. Okay, but I want to begin, or I want to continue on in Deuteronomy chapter 4, and I'm going to get the scriptures that he started off with, but you got to read in complete context to get the full understanding. You can't just take one verse and try to fit it into your narrative, okay, without continuing to read on to get the full understanding. Okay, let's see. Let's get Deuteronomy 4, beginning of verse 14. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh Shai commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye might do them in the land whether ye go to possess it. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord Yahweh Shai spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth." Now, if you just take that and you try to fit that into your narrative, it will definitely sound like we're not supposed to make certain images of the things that are listed. Okay? But if you take that at face value, that's basically saying that you can't even use your artistic expression to draw the things that are mentioned, because it will be seen as, at least in the eyes of someone with no understanding, as worshiping those images that you're drawing. Okay, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that when we have these images, we're not sitting here bowing down to them and worshiping them as if they were the actual physical representation of what's being depicted. Okay, that's nonsense. Okay, and that's very childish. That's a very childish way of thinking, and a very low-level way of thinking, to be honest. Okay. Now, when you continue on, it's going to give you the context of what it's speaking about in verse 19. And it says, "Unless thou lift up thy eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shouldst be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord Yahweh Shai thy power hath divided unto you all the nations of the whole heaven." Okay, so we're not putting our stock and our faith and our belief in the things that we're depicting. Okay, we know better than that. Okay, even in our own law, which we're supposed to turn back and to study and to practice and to keep to the best of our ability. Okay, it lets you know not to serve other gods. Okay, not to worship graven images. Okay, even as we just read. Okay, so that would be a contradiction of our own beliefs. Okay, to do anything that's contrary to that. But the reason we have these is to break the strongholds that have been put on our mind, the chains in our mind, to show you that there is a better way and a more accurate way than what we have been taught and what has been systematically beat into our people over the different perpetual generations of slavery that we've been under, both northern and southern kingdom. Okay? So with that being said, the main point in Deuteronomy 4:19 was not to worship or serve these images that are made. Okay, now I want to get the definition of graven image and the definition of worship. And Lord willing, this will give you a better context of what these words mean. And you'll come to see that we are not doing the things that we're being accused of. Because at the end of the day, this particular individual is bearing false witness. Okay? And you know what the scriptures say about being held accountable for every idle word that you speak. That's why it's very important that when you put videos on wax and you go out of these scriptures and you break these precepts down, that you are preaching 100% truth. Because the words you speak can sway an individual one way or another. And if you're not coming in truth and sincerity, that stumbling block could lead someone astray. All right? Now, the definition of graven images is a carved idol or representation of a god used as an object of worship. Okay? Used as an object of worship, which is the point. Now, the definition of worship: the feeling or expression of reverence and adoration for a deity. Okay? So by the definition alone, you know that we are not doing the things that we are accused of, because we are not bowing down and sacrificing to these images that are made. Okay? Let's get the book of Proverbs 4 and 7. The book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7, which reads, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." It just shows your lack of understanding to actually go and make a video with these false claims. Okay, because that's a very low level way of thinking. All right? It's a very low level way of thinking. We're going to see what the Heavenly Father, Son, Yahweh Shai, looks like when he cracks those clouds and reveals himself. Okay, we're not saying he looks like the pictures of Idris Elba or these AI generated images that pop up that we use. Okay, we're not worshiping and bowing down to those images. Okay, Jake likes to take things so literally. When I read the definition of graven image in worship and broke it down, that's all it took was a simple Google search to show that we're not doing the things that we are being accused of, but rather using those images to break the strongholds put on the minds of our people, because our people are visual learners. Okay? There's an old saying in the world that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay? How come in every religion and denomination around the planet, all these different nations have gods or powers that look like the nation that worship them, except the Israelites, who are you so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans? All the powers and gods that have been given to us to worship look like our oppressors. And that in of itself should raise questions of why. So the images we use are used in part, okay, to break that representation that the powers we serve look like our enemies, when in fact they don't. And the scriptures clearly go into what the Heavenly Father and only begotten Son look like. Okay. Let's see. Let's stay in Proverbs for a couple precepts. Let's get our Proverbs 9, beginning at verse 4. And it reads, "Whoso is simple, let him turn hither. As for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him, Come, eat of my bread and drink of the wine which I have mingled." Okay, now this is parabolic talk, speaking about the word. This is why you need teachers to break down these scriptures and show you the way that you need to go. Okay? Now, I myself don't consider myself a master teacher, but I learn at the feet of the apostles, and they have 100% doctrine. Therefore, the things that I teach and that I speak of, I'm assured of, and I can say with confidence, which is why we give double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule well, because they lead by example. Okay? Continuing on in verse 6, it says, forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding. Okay, that's a common thing of this lesson. You must have the Rakakwadash in order to have that unction to teach. You must have the complete knowledge, the complete wisdom, and the complete understanding. Otherwise, you're going to go out there and you're going to make a fool of yourself. Maybe not to those who don't know this truth and are learning and trying to decipher and figure out, what's what. Okay, but in the eyes of the angels, in the eyes of the Lord himself, they can see your foolish teachings and your lack of understanding. Even those that are in the know, that have the 100% truth and the 100% doctrine. We can go through these scriptures and precepts and completely destroy your whole argument. All right? Continuing on, it says, he that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame, and he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. It says, reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. And that's what our videos are all about. People say we're doing hit pieces and hate videos. It's not about that. It's about teaching the correct doctrine and building you up in edification. Okay? That's what it's about. Waking up the hopeful elect, but by teaching the word in truth and sincerity. And we are set up as defenders for the gospel. Okay? Point blank, period. Okay, so if you are one of the Lord's, you're going to take heed to this message, and you are going to understand and do an amendment video, do a correction video, change your understanding. But at the end of the day, it's all up to Yahweh Shem Yashai who gets this word and who receives it. Okay, and as the scriptures say, the deceived and the deceiver are his. Okay, so there's no amount of us breaking this down and speaking simply and spelling it out for you from A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, right? Making it plain upon tables, as it were. If it's not ordained for you to get it, you're not going to get it. But the elect are going to get it. Okay? They're going to understand. Continuing on. Verse 9, it says, give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yashai is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Okay? So it's all about that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay? You have to have the Rakakwadash. Okay? Let's get Proverbs 14 and 15. Which reads, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. Okay? That's why the scriptures tell us to study to show thyself approved. Don't just take the word of somebody at face value. Get into these scriptures and study and figure out the way yourself. Okay? Lord willing, you're learning under the right tutelage and under the right leaders. But the scriptures say that the hopeful elect are going to get it and they're going to understand. And once they hear this word in truth and sincerity, they're going to be sealed. And that's who we're out to reach. And I say we, humbly speaking. Okay? Because true indeed, the scriptures say that he that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved. And we are not yet at the end. Okay? Many are called, but few are chosen. It's obvious we've been called. Okay? It's yet to remain who has been chosen. Who is part of that electos, the elect. And that's why we move with fear and reverence of the Most High, because we just don't know. Okay? But we're putting on as the hopeful elect, and Lord willing, we're going to be found worthy to be delivered. Now, let me get the point of this whole defense for the gospel in 2 Corinthians 10 and 4. Okay? 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. Which actually, I'll begin at verse 3. It says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. Okay? To the pulling down of strongholds. This is a spiritual war that we're a part of. But our enemies, primarily Esau Edom, has used images to help deceive and to keep our people stagnant and destitute in the mind and in the spirit. So these images are used to break those strongholds, right? Verse 5, it says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. Okay? That's what it's about. Just as Apostle Paul is talking about. We're breaking down strongholds. Okay? Casting down imaginations. Let's see. And then that's the point right there. If you don't understand that, I don't know a simpler way to put it through the Spirit. Okay? Because at the end of the day, we shouldn't even be doing less is defending the images and the signs that we have. Okay? But, as it were, this is the main reason why we have to do it. Because the artwork and imagery has been used as a weapon against our people. And let's prove it in Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We know the wicked is Esau, Edom, and power has been given to him by the Heavenly Father Yahweh. It says, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And this is the main reason why we know that Esau, Edom is the wicked that the Bible speaks of, because this is his MO. You can even Google the term whitewashing or iconoclasm, where he painted his faces over our images and our paintings, and he defaced our different statue busts and frescoes, right? Breaking off the noses of certain images, chiseling their features over our images, whitewashing our images and our paintings. Okay? These terms can be looked up for yourself. So if you have an enemy that is so diabolical that he'll go and try to deface our own artwork and insert himself as our people, it would stand to reason that when we come back into the truth, we would have new artworks and images showing you the truth of what the Bible speaks of, validating what the scriptures say we look like. Not out of our own opinion and own imagination, but by what the scriptures say. But that does not mean we're worshiping those images, okay, as a direct representation. It's more as a tribute and to show our people that this is the truth. Okay, and what they have presented to us in our captivity is false. All right. Let's get yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's the point. I don't want to keep harping on this, because at the end of the day, this should be something that's easily understood. But the elect are going to get it. They're going to understand. Okay, and Lord willing, if you're listening to this video, okay, you come to understand the truth of the matter. But if not, if a nigga can't get it, we're moving on. Okay? But with that, I want to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. Until next lesson, Shalom.